What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? It is Monday, August 31st, 2020. You are tuned in to WATCHFEST TV with your girl Plum, and I'm back with another review video. This one is regarding Lovecraft Season 1, Episode 3, Holy Ghosts. And baby, let me tell you, they named it the right thing because I was in prayer the whole episode, alright? But before we get into it, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. It's free. Comment down below and let me know what was the highlights in this week's episode for you. But enough of all the rambling. Lovecraft Season 1, Episode 3. Let's get into it. Now y'all know how I do. I'll go ahead and I highlight the scenes that stood out to me. You can always comment down below and let me know your highlights in this week's episode and also what you thought I missed, alright? But this week's episode opened up letting us know that it's about to be some weird things going on this episode, alright? It opens up letting us know in the summer of 1955, a group of Negro men and women moved into a house on the north side of Chicago. Now, 10 days later, 3 people went missing inside the house, never to be seen again. Pioneering is dangerous. Okay, so it lets us know ahead of time it's about to be some things going on up in here. All right, so it zooms in on Letty sitting in church contemplating, probably thinking about the way she died last episode, all right? Pretty much just lost in the sauce while everyone is worshiping. Now, it shoots over to a scene where Letty is walking with her sister, leading her to a home that she just bought. Now, she convinced her sister to move into this home, but you can tell the sister doesn't really want to move in. But because of the fact that she knows their relationship is kind of, holding on with a broken wing, so to speak. So she's saying, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and move in. I'm going to go ahead and mend this relationship that I got going on with my sister. So she moves in along with Letty and a couple of her friends. And they start off there. Meanwhile, Atticus is back with George and his wife. Well, George's wife. I'm sorry. And the kid. And pretty much it's been 3 weeks since George passed away. So they're still grieving. But at this point, Atticus has now, he's worn out his welcome. They're ready for him to go, okay? Matter of fact, the wife really wants to know the real story because now she's not even believing what they told her, which is the sheriff shot her husband. So to her, it doesn't make any sense. So now Atticus is feeling a bit unwelcome. So he decides to try to at least, stay with his dad, but we see how that goes. It doesn't really work out. You can see 2 clashing heads, and that wouldn't work out at all. So Atticus ends up with Letty, her sister, and the friends. Now we're going to go ahead and shoot over to the scene where Letty threw a housewarming party, and everybody was up in this housewarming party like it was no consequence. I just knew, like in the back of my mind, that it would have caused some type of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because you just don't move in free like that back then without any, trouble from, the fair skins, the white skins. It just didn't seem real. So they had this party and everybody was up in there. And then here goes the white men, and they decide to tie bricks to the horns in the car, just to let the neighbors know, it's some niggas moving next door. It's some black folks infiltrating next door. And the whole neighborhood comes out. But Letty wasn't having it. Letty was not having it, all right? She went outside with swinging bats, and just like the black men that they are, Atticus and a group of black men follow behind with the shotguns, But Letty's sister, she a rider too, because she gets in the car. She knows it's about to be some shit at this point because now the police is coming, right? So pops open the trunk, puts those guns in the trunk. Letty's sister speeds off and the police arrives. So it was pretty much Letty letting them know, I'm not moving. I'm here to stay. You gonna have to deal with me. I'm tired of the shit. Y'all gonna have to deal with me. Now Letty gets carried off to jail, which I don't understand because they was burning a cross on her lawn. She was defending herself, but then again, it was those times. So she gets carried off to jail. And as she's taking that ride with that sheriff, in the back of the police van, he starts to interrogate her, like, you know, how much do you know about this property? Do you know what you bought into? And Letty's pretty much confused when he lets out it was 8 bodies found in that house. So now Letty's like, okay, you know, since I moved in, it's been a lot of weird stuff going on. But the fact that you're saying this now, okay, you know. Now let's go ahead and talk about the relationship that Atticus and Letty has. Now, they're playing with each other, you know. One don't want to tell the other that they like the other, you know. So they playing with each other. And at this house party, you know, Atticus realized there's other dudes that's in pursuit of Letty. So he decides to, you know, go ahead and, you know, hunch her on the sink, you know, and didn't even realize it was the girl's first time. She bled and told him, hey, it's my menstrual, don't worry about it. And he blew off, took off like it was nothing. But it was actually her first time. I thought that was a fucked up way to lose her virginity, on the fucking sink. Can you believe it? You know, but when he did find out, he was, you know, kind of sad about it. Like, man, I didn't know, and I apologize for it. But you can tell that they're gonna fall deeper in love as the season moves forward. You can see it clear as day when Letty tells him, hey, you know, I think my house is haunted. You know, and all he said was, walk me through it, let me know. He didn't say she was crazy, especially all the dumb stuff that was happening in the episode before that. He just sat there and said, walk me through it. And when she told him, he didn't judge her for it. He understood, because it's a whole lot of weird shit going on. Now, Letty also let Atticus know about her encounter with the owner of the home down in the basement, telling her get the fuck out of his house, you know. She also seen a couple ghosts, so she knew for a fact that the house was haunted. So she got a witch doctor, which I think was Haitian. You know, comment down below, let me know what you think. Where do you think she came from? I think she was Haitian. Okay, and she went ahead and cut a goat, you know, went down there, did her thing, and it didn't work. It didn't work. What worked was Letty calling on all 8 bodies that this man destroyed. All the spirits that this man took, you know, came together. The ancestors came together, you know, and pretty much got his ass up out of the house. But even after all that, if it was me, I wouldn't want to stay in the house even after all that, okay? But Letty decided she wanted to stay, and in the process lost her sister. Because before that, she slipped and told her sister the settlement for that house came from her mother's bank account, which was not the truth. We knew that because the white woman from the beginning of the show never died. She came back, and she's the one that gave Letty the money. You know, another part that stood out to me was a quick reference to Emmett Till. A lot of you who didn't realize or didn't notice, when the kids were in the basement playing with the Ouija board, and he asked, you know, am I going to have a good time on this trip? And the Ouija board said no. And in the episode, they called him Bobo, which the nickname, it was for Emmett Till. And it was just a sad thing, because it just made you remember the bullshit that they did to this little boy. I like the way they tied that in there and pretty much forced us to remember, just to remember him. The Ouija board also pretty much spelled out George's name, which sent his daughter, you know, bonkers. She went nuts, you know. So it pretty much let me know maybe George isn't out the story just yet. I really feel like they killed him too quick. He might come back as something else, but we just gotta wait and see. Now, during Letty and Atticus and this woman trying to cleanse the home, 3 of the white neighbors decided they wanted to break into the home. You know, the same 3 white men who pretty much tied the bricks to the horns. They broke into the home, you know, and the house and the spirits ended up just taking them down and killing them and dropping them into the same basement that this man kept all 8 bodies, you know. They were never to be found again. So that was pretty much the plot twist. It was never any black people missing. It was pretty much them white boys that wanted to come up in people's shit that went missing. So I could appreciate that. Now, this week's episode left me with a hand on the remote and one hand on the Bible, baby. It was that deep. Again, comment down below. Let me know what was your highlights in this week's episode. What did I miss? Because I want to know. All right. Until then, you guys have a good one. You've been watching WATCHFEST TV with your girl Plump, and I'm out.